Jackie. Good morning. And welcome to the Treasure Coast Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Stuart, Florida. Today is Sunday, March 13th, 2022. My name is Barney Miller Moore, and I will be the worship associate for today. We are a welcoming congregation. We welcome people of all gender identities, ethnicities, ages, and backgrounds. It is wonderful to see all of your faces in the sanctuary and those who are not with us but are visiting via YouTube. You may be put on our email list or can find out more about us if you go to our website, which is tcuuc.org. The email link would request our online newsletter as well. May I ask, please, that you silence your cell phones? Thank you. If we have visitors today, you're more than welcome to step up to the microphone and introduce yourself. We have visitors? Please.
I want to introduce you all to our dear friend Maureen, who's visiting from Long Island. And she is a born and bred UU. And you'll hear her sing.
Thank you. Welcome. Are there more?
Oh, sorry.
More visitors. Our announcements today. This one is really important. The board has decided to maintain the mask request for another month. Hopefully, and most likely, it will be dropped soon. The fear is that if we drop it and then the alert level comes back to our area, it will be very difficult to turn back. So the truth is that the board is truly torn. Also, we're thinking about having a regular live microphone event, probably on the second Friday of the month in the evening. Karaoke, a poetry slam, all of this can be seen on YouTube, whatever you can come up with. Of course, everyone wants to have the stupid bastards back. To make this work, we need to have someone coordinate this. So please, if you're interested, see Reverend Bob. Join us on the first and third Tuesdays at Stewart Veterans Memorial Park, downtown Stewart, at noon for our brown bag lunch. And we're going to hear from Jerry Rader, who will give us an update on the pledge drive and more regarding being a UU. Thank you, Jerry.
Well, I think it's going about as we hoped. Last year we had 34 pledges, and this year so far we have 21. Our goal is $75,000. That's not our total expenses, but given the coronavirus and where we are, our goal in that pledge drive is $75,000. Last year we raised $73,000, and so far this year we had $61,000 pledged. So we're still short of our goal that we hope to get. As I said, our expenses are over that. Our expenses are around $100,000, and we're using past pledges for past year's pledges for that extra $25,000. But we certainly need more people in our church. Happy to have you all here today.
Thank you, Jerry. Were you going to tell us a little bit about being a UU along with Pam? Pam hasn't been yet. No? Okay.
Next time.
Well, thank you again. A big thank you to those who helped with this service. Jackie, our music, always so beautiful. Our greeters and ushers, our ushers and our host, Karina Peloni, and our check wizard, Chris McGann, Joan Leone, and Marguerite Gregory for the coffee and cookies out on the patio. No. Forget it.
That's my job.
Yes, it is. The Chalice Lit Among Us by Deborah Falk. The chalice lit among us is a beacon of hope in a world of crisis, a beacon of possibility made manifest in community, a beacon of warmth through our interconnections, a beacon of light illuminating our shared wisdom, a beacon of connection by our being together. And our words, I hope I can give you the words without getting all teary. Our opening words are from UU Reverend Ashley Horan, who organizes the strategy, the strategy director of Side with Love. This was written February the 25th, 2022. Interdependence over imperialism. Our faith aspires to build a different kind of world. At its best, Unitarian Universalism gracefully holds at its center a reverence for both the individual and the collective. Our congregations covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every human being, alongside respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. This means working for a world in which individual freedoms are in balance with collective thriving. It means we must unequivocally reaffirm our commitment to protecting and supporting our families and friends, both here and across the globe. It means that we must elect and hold accountable leaders who have power to resist and repair the wounds of colonialism and imperialism, working at the global level for policies that uphold the dignity of all peoples and the well-being of our earth and the entire human family. Unitarian Universalists side with love. And now, let us sing through our masks, hymn 1, that is 118, This Little Light of Mine. For all of us here in the sanctuary, let's sing through our masks. I don't have mine on, but we'll sing. And now the affirmation. Let us recite our affirmation, speaking the first verse and singing the second through our masks. Love is the spirit of the church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to love one another.
This is our time to share matters of joy, sorrow, concern, and we hope that as you share yours, you will know that you are heard and supported. We ask that they be personal. We ask that they be brief. We invite you to come to the mic and speak to us of yours, and then move a stone into a symbolic river in which we're all kind of together. Who has one to share? Please come forward. Oh, we said tell us who you are first. I forgot to say that.
Hi, I'm MacDonald. I'm a woman from the Unitarian Universalist Church in Charlotte, New Jersey. And we have a joy and a concern. The joy is we finally went under contract to sell our condo. And the concern is that now we need to get a couple of tradesmen and a licensed electrician and a licensed plumber. And we don't know anybody here in Florida. So if anybody has an application, we would love to hear it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Jackie Robbins, and tomorrow at sales return between 3 and 8 p.m. there will be a fundraiser for our friend Jonathan Cummings, who is a guitarist, vocalist, and drummer locally, and he has cancer in his neck. And he just had all of his teeth removed, so he cannot sing and play for a living, so many of us are performing and people are just coming and raising money. Sales return tomorrow. And I will be playing with Terry Barber and some other people.
Anyone else?
Good morning. I'm Artie Moore, and I just wanted to say that all of the people who knew about what was happening with my knees, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm feeling a lot better. There's more to be done, but the therapy is over, so thank you.
Anyone else? We always move one for those that we carry with us and don't say out loud. We all have people who we worry about, love, and that's for them. The meditation is by Mark L. Bellatini, another one of these gems in the back of our hymnal 686. Go in peace, live simply, gently, at home in yourselves. Act justly, speak justly. Remember the depth of your own compassion. Forget not your power in the days of your powerlessness. Do not desire to be wealthier than your peers, and stint not your hand of charity. Practice forbearance. Speak the truth or speak not. Take care of yourselves as bodies, for you are a good gift. Crave peace for all people in the world, beginning with yourselves. And go as you go with the dream of that peace alive in your heart. Mark Bellatini. And now moments in silence. Our hymn is 123, Spirit of Life. We hum the verse, we sing the verse in our masks. We hope for all, is a growing in generosity. For those that didn't start out, people have said that exactly to me, that they came here, they changed to here because they wanted a denomination of a bigger heart and more action to show it. So we invite your offering this morning as part of our growing spirit of generosity. And now the ushers, I forgot to ask, please come forward. I'm sure your offering is given in gratitude. You can be sure it is received with gratitude.
I wanted to burn it.
There are all kinds of surprises from our representation from the Lyric Concert Hall here. That's what I consider Jackie. Representation from the Lyric Concert Hall. We are pretty lucky to have that representation. Before I go on, was there anybody else who was supposed to speak today? I'll just go on. I found a video. The video is a gem of Black history, women's history, a little presidential history, and a little bit of soul. You've heard it before. I'm glad you've heard it before. We're a little challenged with the audio this morning, but I'm hoping you're going to hear it enough. You don't have to hear it too loud to know what it is and to enjoy it. I think you will. Karina, can we? Bless you, my child.
the morning rain. I used to feel so uninspired when I knew I had to face another day. Oh, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind. But you're the key to my peace of mind. How you make me feel. You make me feel. When my soul was in the lost and found, I could never have along to claim it. I didn't know just what was wrong with me. You kill this kiss, help me, baby. I'm no longer down of what I'm living for. 'Cause if I make you happy, I don't need
A little bit more we got on tape.
you make me feel so inside. And I just wanna be. I wanna get down on my man. You make me feel so.
I just heard that. I had to look up Carol King, right? I had to see what she was getting ignited about, and then I got the idea. I have to begin, angels we have known. I have to begin with Reverend Lauren Smith of the UUA, kind of the director of giving for this entire denomination. She wrote us this week to join in the UUSC, UU Service Committee effort to help the Ukrainian refugees who are flooding the contiguous countries, except Russia and Belarus, of course. I think if you get the weekend update, you saw her opening. I think maybe her name was left off it, but that was from Lauren Smith. She tells us that money we give will go to Hungarian UU congregations who are being good neighbors to these desperate, fleeing Ukraine citizens, many women and children. It will be a little bit of help we can give. Our new friend, who is head of UUSC, Reverend Mary Catherine Mourn, John's sister and our speaker here on April 3. She suggests we send checks made up to UUSC. So you can give it here or bring it next week and add it to mine, and I will send them all the next day. I feel so helpless watching this needless war. So when Reverend Smith and Reverend Moore tell me this is something we can do, and it will go to UU congregations in Hungary and Poland and other countries there, and they will use it for people who are fleeing to them. I want to do that, so I invite you to bring a check next Sunday or get one here, and I'll send it along with the one I want to. I have been trying to take a break from the news. How much war footage can you take? You may find the following scenes disturbing. You ought to find the following scenes disturbing. How much disturbed can we live with and not end up, really disturbed? So feeling a double barrel whammy. We are reading that we won't be over COVID for some time, if ever. The public anxiety, the home fear, 2 years plus. So I call it a double whammy, a double barrel whammy. COVID onslaught, abating but not quite gone. And war carnage and helplessness all around. A good time to check on our spirituality. What we have inside us to face what we have to. It seemed like World War was history. Now we keep hearing what could begin World War III. We thought nuclear war was unimaginable. Sanity and the sureness of reprisal would keep the lid on. Great strategic minds have written, it's all about balancing self-interests. But what if a leader of a great power wants a perceived historical greatness back before he is history? Can we rely on sanity then? I am grateful every day to live in a world planned by Roosevelt and Churchill and the NATO they envisioned from the ashes of the last World War. So all we can do is hope leaders we believe in will do their best. So more COVID tests are coming in the mail from the post office. If you haven't already, just find that .gov again and get your order in. We got the word on Thursday. We went to the site. We got the tests yesterday in the mail. That's efficiency from the post office. Wow. So we have our way to check on COVID at home. Here today, I'm suggesting a spirituality checkup or test. Not to see if you have the right one. We are UUs. There is no one right one. But there is one, and there are many. There is yours, and there is mine. And spirituality, like all things religious, seems more like a journey than a destination. When the world is a fearful and shaky place, go where you can find stability. Be sure you are tending to your own well. So maybe along with that common sign-off today, be well, we might add, and find your well. That's what I think spirituality is. It's not another world to die for, literally. It's part of our world to guide us, to sustain us. In these days, we need some sustainment. Now, whenever I bring up spirituality, I always feel the need to make this disclosure. Just saying that, to make this disclosure, reminds me of those commercials on the radio which end with fast talk disclosures or disclaimers. And all I can think is, who would buy something wrapped in fast talk disclaiming at the end of it? Are they saying you have to be really stupid to buy our product and we just warned you? So my disclosure is, I know we argue you and we don't agree on what spirituality is, if spirituality is, and how important it is, or whether it's important at all. UUs are known for activism. This week I can't escape the horror of war. So I'm looking within for some steadying. That's what spirituality might do for us. Next Sunday, we will have a rep here to encourage our support for the Immokalee migrant farm workers and a rally to show support on Saturday, April 2nd in West Palm. Historically, UUs are known for such activism. Look at those pictures of our saints, our heroes, with that blank little box at the end inviting my picture and name. There are martyrs like UU Reverend James Reed, who, like so many, were murdered in the South for their civil rights activism. How many heroes of spirituality are there? We tend to import other religious traditions to cover that need. Did I just get a message? No. Spirituality for me, and I'm talking, of course, for me, is a peopled world. That's people with a D. I think I made that up. But it's a peopled world I carry within. A child's line from a movie, I see dead people, seemed like a clue to dysfunction. I hear from dead people often, and that means they aren't dead to me, and they guide my functioning. As I talk about mine, I want you to think about yours. I want to mention two women who were important to my history, and I can hear them now. First, of course, my grandmother. Now, I haven't quoted my grandmother here in a long time, but I've heard from her often. My single mother and her two little boys lived with Nanny when I was in kindergarten and first grade. She wasn't what we think of as a warm, welcoming grandma. She usually welcomed us with, remember, children are to be seen and not heard. When I've mentioned that here in the other building and in my northern churches, it seemed like a lot of folks knew my grandma. Or at least her welcoming line. She taught me a word way before I knew what it was, nor how to look it up. Where's your gumption? Don't you have any gumption? Then usually something like how a person without gumption wouldn't amount to much. Decades later, I was so relieved to read Russell Baker's autobiography. Remember Russell Baker, that wonderful wordsmith from the New York Times and later host to Masterpiece Theater on PBS? Baker wrote that when he was young, his grandmother worried about his gumption deficit also. He didn't know either what it was, but it was kind of motivating. It helped him and me to have somebody expecting something from you, even if you didn't know at the time what it was. We've heard a lot about grandparents' role in showering gifts. Russell and I got the gumption gift. Another gem from Nanny, right up there with her molasses cookies and her chicken dumplings. Cookies and dumplings, the first we loved, the second we suffered. But another of her lines often flung was, consider the source. When anyone annoyed her or offended her, which happened often, consider the source to her meant just above dirt. I've taken it to mean when someone says something offensive, hurtful, dismissive, mean, it really says more about them. It's usually not personal, and we are better off if we don't take it personally. What does it really tell us about them? Another woman prominent in my pantheon of guiding saints was 100-year-old Dorothy, who had faith like the rock of Gibraltar until she began questioning it, and told me about her questioning on her deathbed. I was on the receiving end of many consults with Dorothy over her homemade shoe-fly pie and coffee. She was a card-carrying member of the WCTU, the Women's Christian Temperance Union. That old WASP prohibition group is headquartered in Glenview, Illinois. Dorothy had seen alcoholism in her father and her two sons. She warned everyone she could. Her word to me was pretty severe. If someone saw me drink and decided it must be okay, and then fell into alcoholism, well, the gist was that person whom I had wrongly influenced would not be spending eternity in hell alone. At her grandson's wedding, I found places outside to enjoy a drink. Fortunately, there wasn't a picture in the wedding album of the minister having a champagne toast in the bushes. What I remember fondly about Dorothy was on her deathbed. She, a very fundamentalist Methodist, asked me if in the time of Jesus, weren't there others believed to be dying and rising gods? I had to look that up. She was referring to the cult of Mithras, a Persian Iranian religion. Mithra, was the Zoroastrian Persian god of the rising sun, of contracts and covenants. The Roman Empire liked the Mithras mystery cult because it encouraged loyalty to the emperor. It also encouraged the keeping of the marriage contract. Well, I'm getting another signal here. It's kind of a smoke signal. That's a reminder for me to raise the wick later. Keeping the marriage contract. Mithras was about that too. If you thought you or your mate might need a little undergirding in that loyalty, you prayed to Mithras for support and strengthening. As Christianity got more footing in the Roman Empire about 300 CE, Mithraism faded. Dorothy was wanting reassurance that doubt would not land her soon in jeopardy. I reminded her that we both believed in a God of love, and I hope that helped her. R.I.P. Spirituality means different things to us at different times in our lives. For me, it includes remembering people who added to life's richness, who gave it their best, and then passed the baton, the remote, the GPS to us. When you feel like you can't hold on, you might remember them holding on and surely feeling about the same in their lives. While we are a small, struggling congregation, we could fill a board of UU heroes here, people who kept us going and keep us going. For most of our history here, since 1992, we were blessed by two Isabels. Isabel Gagnon was an epitome of dignity and fiercely UU. When we got into family feuds, congregational feuds, often, she would say from her place of calm and strength and wisdom, "Well, Bob, that's who we are." And Isabel Coode, a retired social worker, had a dream and a mantra: one world. She wasn't too big on our affiliation with Boston, UU Central HQ, but she wanted us to link arms with the UN. Well, Isabel, we are going to start exploring the world and listening to each other about the world in 2 weeks. Two Isabels and two Marthas, Alfie and Mickelson. Martha Alfie, of course, is still with us. We need nudges and pointers toward effective activism because we want to leave the world a better place than we found it. We also need reminders that others have and are cheering us on. Remembering them empowers us to keep on. For me, that is one enriching face and fact of spirituality. Our closing hymn is number 360. Here we have gathered, 360. improvised a good bit here, so like before the sermon, I mentioned, was there anybody else I was supposed to invite up here to speak? So now I'll also say, is it possible that anybody who came late because of the time change expected to be speaking? Anybody who, oh, Pam, was that you? Do you want to come up and say a little bit? I guessed right for a change.
I knew I would be called out. I knew I would be called out.
This is Pam Corbin. Some of you know her.
Yes, I forgot to talk to you. I'm not perfect. However, I was supposed to speak about my journey to Unitarian Universalism because of the pledge drive. And I have been on the pledge drive committee before, and my parents have been on the pledge drive committee. So I was raised as a Unitarian Universalist since age 11. I am, of course, African American, but my people are from the Caribbean and Bermuda. So we are West Indian African Americans, and it's a subset. And so our view of life is a little different, and our foods are different. My parents were raised in the Caribbean and in Bermuda, but since my mother's family was from Bermuda, we're mostly Bermudan. The reason why we're Unitarian Universalists is because in Bermuda there are 63,000 people on an island of 54 miles square, and there are one church for every 500 Bermudians. And all of them strictly believe in the Bible, and not all of them, there are 3 synagogues. And they strictly believe in the Bible, and whatever the Bible says, that's what they go by. And so this would boil down to really weird practices like giving your chewable salt Peter to cut down your steps dry. But my parents, my mother decided, and her sister, they went to nursing school. And they decided to drop the cult that they were in. This cult is called Church of the Brethren. It's a church/cult. And you're not allowed to wear pants, you sinners. Women are not allowed to wear pants. No makeup, and no going to the theater. So, this is, and of course, in your churches, men are in charge. The other thing about Church of the Brethren is you will never starve. They take care of their people, so they're good and bad things. So my mother and her sister went to nursing school, and my mother was in complete rebellion, and she came to Unitarian Universalism. Our church was South Nazareth Unitarian Church in Freeport, Colorado, and we had a fully functioning church with LLYJ, YF. Does anybody know what those are? Liberally religious youth. I was really raised as a Unitarian. I went to Unitarian Sunday school. My teachers were people from other religions that had been kicked out of their religion, and they would tell us their stories about having transgressed, and they were kicked out of their religion and became our teachers. And we learned things like science, and our parents came in to do Parents' Day, and we were taught very deeply about other people's religions. So we had a full Passover. I went to Hebrew school. The Hebrew school was across the street. And they wanted us to be in contact with other religions and to learn about everything. Our minister ran for Congress on the anti-Vietnam War platform. The reason why I was like a minister that is divorced or not a perfect marriage first time is because we had divorced ministers. We insisted upon it because the whole church was so rebellious. People brought in their dogs. We had to meeting about dogs in church. However, these people loved us and they loved their children, and it was a wonderfully
done religious education, and that's why I'm a little bit more liberal than a lot of you, because you weren't raised this way. We had a full sex education course. You know, that's just the way that our church was. So I saw my parents, they actually went to people's houses to raise money for the pledge drive. And they just didn't take no for an answer. And the church was beautiful. I should also tell you that our church ran an abortion clinic in the parish house. That's how over the top we were. I consider y'all a little bit more sedate. So, this is what it was like to be raised as a Unitarian child. And we, Unitarian children, we didn't usually marry out of her religion, because Unitarians can go with anywhere. And that's to the detriment of our church, that we don't insist that the new partners become Unitarians, because we're liberal. We don't insist upon anything. However, I was on the pledge committee. I happen to know that the electric bill must be paid. Do you know that we pay, Jackie? There's a sign in the bathroom that says, a sign in the kitchen that says, please don't put coffee grinds down the disposal, because we have to call a plumber, and the plumber costs $75. We're really tight on money, and that's why we need your pledges. You know, Bob is the aid employee.
And he's not running for Congress.
But Bob visited me in the hospital when I was hospitalized for knee replacement surgery that went bad. And I wouldn't wake up for him. And he drove all the way there up to Port St. Lucie Hospital to visit me. And Bob does visit other people. But I want you to know that all of this costs money. To get good people costs money. There's a lot of volunteers here, but still we pledge. One of the things that just gnaws me to the end is when people say, my other Unitarian church up north to the west, it was much better. We had a lot of things going on. We can't be better until we support our own. Okay, and that is not a reason, that is not a reason to refrain from pledging. And these people, the person that told me that doesn't really go to church anymore. I happen to need you to pledge. We need you to pledge so that we can have the gay prom here. We need you to pledge because we marry people who are from other religious backgrounds. They need a place to go to get married. And we don't want them to get married in the dark. And I'm just going to end with a thank you. Please fill out the pledge card. Please let Bob have enough gas for his car. Please allow us to continue on. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Pam. Let me say, we do networking here, and before you got here, Pam, someone mentioned needing a plumber. So you might check with Pam, she might know someone. Also, I don't know if we mentioned our park gathering. That's on Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes.
Park, Veterans Park down on Stewart, a bag lunch, noontime, a fun time, all welcome. And now our snacks will be in the other room, in the lobby. Where will they be? Well, these people will show you where they are and serve you where they are. Thank you.
We didn't have the edges.
Well, but Barney has words. I'm sorry?
Is the mic still on?
Mom has
Yeah.
words.
As what?
You have words for the disappearing chalice, like?
The disappearing chalice, light has gone out. The whip will be brought up.
The whip will return.
The whip shall return, and
I bring a.
She has to have her ending.
I would like to know, since this is a democracy, if you would like to hear Camille Sessom, the Swan?
Yes.
Oh,
Why don't you
okay.
accept
Or
it?
Bob. A little more, Temple Bob, which is always.
Are you talking about future services? or-
No, no, right now, right here, right now.
Hey, this is for all of us who may live with or without someone else, but we all are isolated in our own moments, in our lives. And, so is this one who, lost
I
her.
just, I carry tweezers for that purpose.